just deny. We try our best, and we're successful. God wants us to bring rivers to monsters. It's time to start. Enjoy the show.
Welcome in everyone to Betting Weekly Live. It's Monday the 17th of November. You're with Steve Wyss and Lewis Jones as we continue our looking into depth for the World Cup qualifiers Europe. Lewis, how's things going with you? Did you have a good weekend?
Yeah, hello everyone. Good to be back. I mean, my ears are bleeding after that intro choice, Steve. Awful. Really, it's been a tough enough few days with the international break as it is, but that music, I mean, that's just tipped me over the edge a little bit. I mean, that's just a terrible choice for the start. But what is it? Slipknot, Corn sort of vibes, wasn't it? Oh, ouch. Need to
officially called the speed metal intro.
Yeah,
and
wow.
You know what? I've been a bit naughty there. Really, I just felt like we've not used it for a long time.
There's a reason. There's a reason we've not used it for a long time. Awful start to the show, but hopefully things improve after the theme tune. But yeah, how am I? Yeah, no, all good. Yeah, it's been a bit of a grind, isn't it? This international break.
God, yes.
It's been a couple of games which have caught the eye, and obviously the Ireland game yesterday was absolutely magnificent from a Irish point of view. For them to get into the playoffs in that fashion with a hat trick from Troy Parrott was a brilliant story. But in terms of elsewhere, it's all been a bit tough to really gauge the right enthusiasm for it. Pretty, I would say, but there's always opportunities betting wise, isn't there? And we have to plow on. And there is, I think this is an all right card tonight. I found a couple of angles which I'm quite excited about. So even if the games don't live up to it, there's always betting angles to keep our brains and our wallets nice and replenished, hopefully. So moving on, and we're gonna have a good night, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm certainly looking forward to club football again because I said on Thursday I could foresee myself making some mistakes, and I made some mistakes over the weekend. I don't know what it is about every time there's an international break, right? I always lose on the English lower leagues when there's an international. I win on them when it's just a normal week, no problem. But I don't know what it is. And to be fair, I mean, I always go against Harrogate Town this season, my local team, and it's been really profitable for me. It just happened to be the one weekend they get a result away as a plus 1.25 dog.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's one of those. What it is, you need to probably look at the trends and things when there's League One and League Two action on. When there's an international break, maybe there are funnier results. Maybe the dogs overperform and the favourites underperform. I'm not sure if maybe that's the next job for you on your next international break is to run those numbers, Steve. So you don't. I think I
need to just take off this November one and maybe the March one. I just need to take 2 weeks off because it's all right in the summer when I'll be on the golf course, I'll be playing cricket, I'll be doing everything. But it's been miserable weather here. It's been so cold out there today.
Yeah, I've got the fleece on today. First I'm about to get the fleece out, actually. So, yeah, it is turning. But I think it's changing next year, isn't it, in terms of the international break? I think there's just one bigger window, isn't there, rather than the three?
Yeah, that's probably going to help me out, I think.
That's probably time to book your holiday, I think, and get away for a couple of weeks. I think a lot of people who work in the industry, whether it's journalism or gambling, I think will be probably taking a little break at that point. Probably be a good time to get away and just recharge. I think it is a problem. I think these breaks, the three mini breaks in between the first few months of the season, it's been a problem for years in terms of just the whole product, really. I think of football and domestic football. So hopefully next season's change is done for the best, and we can maybe go on holiday for 2 weeks and just enjoy ourselves rather than ploughing through and trying to find bets and inevitably being uncomfortable with our position sometimes, as I think you found out in the last week or so.
Yeah, I almost foresaw my downfall. I've had a few winners in there, but I've had some losers as well. Made a couple of mistakes, which is unlike me, but we are human, aren't we, sometimes? But I hope everyone's had a good weekend and been cashing winners. Mike said he wished he had a double on Ireland in the last week. That would have played well. That's the standout, really, the Ireland result, as Turin and Rotterdam Tourist Board hits. Troy Parrott's been in incredible form, and there was actually a bet which producer Troy sent me some data on. Someone did have $150 on Ireland live money line against Hungary at nearly 20-1.
Love
so
it.
People were out there backing them even when all hope looked gone. Biggest bet of the weekend on the sportsbook was in the UFC. It was a winner, Islam Makhachev on the money line. Nearly $100,000, Lewis, was placed at -300, and it was a winner. Big winner on the NFL. Jaguars +3 against the Chargers yesterday. I mean, +3. He didn't even. I mean, they won by about 30 points, I think. Incredible, $34,000.
Oh, if only all bets won like that, that'd be just beautiful, wouldn't it?
Brilliant winner. Absolutely brilliant winner. $21,000 loser on the Lions money line against the Eagles. Unfortunately, might have been watching my Betting Zoo episode. Cricket has finally had her first loser. Lewis, it took a long time. It took a long time, but the Eagles did for her in Sunday Night Football last night, and it did for that particular bettor.
The streak is over. The Betting Zoo streak is over.
The pets are still in profit. I think they're 7-4 on the Betting Zoo, so we're still doing quite well on there. Derrick Henry 70+ rushing yards, $20,000 play in Ravens Browns. That was a clear winner. He went over 100 yards, I think, yesterday. In terms of the international soccer, there was also a $10,000 play. Hungary at Ireland over 3.5 goals at +110. Don't know what the over 4.5 goals played at one point there, but that was another good win on the card. So yeah, we're going to be hopefully finding some bets today. We've got going through all the €6 qualifying fixtures, and we've got the daily double coming your way as well. But welcome into you all. Gurney, Ben Jordan, Baxter, good to see you. William Jenner, Anders Corey, that's an interesting bet. Germany versus Slovakia under 3.5. Northern Ireland money line. Poland over. It's basically got a big. Is that going to be a parlay, Anders? Interesting there. CMB UFC's going team total for Germany and Netherlands. Dan Roebuck's in Pookie. Yeah, well, we'll talk about. That's a friendly game that Finland are involved in. It's Pookie's last game for them, and he is even money to score any time. I think that match kicks off in an hour, or is it live now? I'll have to have a look. DCB cashed a live bet on Norway 15-1 when they were 1-0 down to Italy. Interesting one there. But we'll crack on with some bets. We got the first part of your daily double actually in this fixture. Lewis, Northern Ireland against Luxembourg. Closest betting heat of the day, which says everything about this card, really. Northern Ireland are the favourites here at -157. Luxembourg nearly 5-1. A Northern Ireland side who have been pretty, reasonably competitive in this group, it must be said. But they are landlocked in third place, 6 points for them, Luxembourg, and nothing on the board. So it's a dead rubber in many ways. I don't really think there's anything at stake apart from world ranking points, stuff like that. So I'm intrigued where your angle is for the first part of your daily double.
Yeah, it's a shame that Northern Ireland couldn't get a result actually on Friday, wasn't it, against Slovakia. Means they can't finish in the top two now in Group A. So yeah, you're right. This is a little bit, officially a dead rubber, but I suppose Ireland have still got that security blanket of going through to the playoffs via the Nations League. So they're going to be in pot 4 for the playoffs draw in a couple of weeks' time. When they're still in with a shot of getting the World Cup, but they're going to have to play a pot 1 team away from home in a one-legged game here. So it's likely they're going to face the likes of Italy or Turkey, Ukraine away. It's a massive task for them, but you've got to be in it to win it. And they are quite a spirited team. So they will have a bit of a puncher's chance, I think, in that playoffs. But it's it's a tough ask to go to a pot 1 team away from home in a one-legged affair and keep the dream alive. So yeah, not much on this game really, and the market has moved towards the unders goal here, Stephen. That's the market. That's the price which I have sort of concentrated on. Really disappointed to see it move so strongly. I think it's moved around sort of 12% in terms of implied probability. I did check about sort of 12 hours ago, and it was around the -110 mark, under 2.5. It's now sort of, is it borderline -177, I think, which I can sort of see why the money has come, because I don't think this Northern Ireland team, I know they've picked up results under Michael O'Neill, but they've got very limited attacking players just going through their squad. I mean, their best attacker is Isaac Price, who plays for West Brom in the Championships, and Connor Bradley's there, probably star quality, and he's a fullback. I know he plays a little bit further forward for Northern Ireland, but he is a right back, and he is I wouldn't say he's limited going forward, but his strengths do lie, I think, in the defensive side of the game. So, the unders did catch my eye here, just because what Luxembourg will bring to the table in terms of their quality as well. I mean, very limited team, one of the minnows in the European qualification. And I think maybe the market had this game priced up a lot bigger for the unders due to the head-to-head record between these two teams in recent meetings, because they've met each other twice in the last year and a half, I think, and the games have ended 2-2 and 3-1. So maybe the market was lured into a false sense of security, really, because preempting goals. But just looking at those matches, the 2-2 between the two only produced 1.9 worth of expected total goals in the game from just 15 shots, and the 3-1 win for Northern Ireland earlier this year only produced 1.9 expected total goals. So it massively overperformed in terms of goal output. And I think when you throw in the sort of fact this is a dead rubber into the pot, and those underlying numbers from them 2 meetings may just correct themselves here. So I think this could be a very low quality sort of drab affair here. I can't see much motivation for either team. Northern Ireland playing at home, potentially they want to end with a bit of a bang in terms of their momentum going into the playoffs. But these are two quite limited attacks, I think. And Northern Ireland are a very good defensive team. That's where their strengths lie. So it's very difficult to see Luxembourg scoring. But it's also very difficult to see where the goals are going to come from Northern Ireland. So I think the under 2.5, I know it's got a lot shorter than it was maybe 12 hours ago at minus 175-ish here, but I think that is the play. I just I still want it onside in this game. And just in terms of the other betting options elsewhere today, I thought that was an absolute lock for the daily double. So I'm going to put under 2.5 goals in here this game and hope for an absolute drab affair. And also I'm going to throw a couple of quid on the 0-0 correct score, Steve. I think you have to at this situation. Plus 600 it is for 0-0. I think that's worth a few pennies, I think, because I think if it is going to go under, it could go really under. So it's hoping for a real horrible, boring, nothing game in Windsor Park tonight, and then hopefully the unders can cash.
DCB says small stake on Northern Ireland under 3.5 total goals, plus money there, plus 115. Do you know what? This is a good point to make, in that there's a lot of, over the next 2 days, we've got dead rubbers where the result isn't going to impact the table or qualification, but we've got teams playing in the playoffs in March. Check out who's at risk of suspension, because you could get a yellow and miss the most important game, which comes up in the playoffs in March. I think tomorrow Sweden have 9 players who are 1 yellow away from a suspension. So I think quite a lot of these games where there's nothing at stake, it's a question of getting in and out with no damage to suspensions, no damage to injuries, and we could see some really poor games, like really poor quality, and this hopefully will be one of them. There is there's a good chance that these players that are on threat of suspension won't even be risked and played. And these players are normally key players, aren't they? The ones that have played a lot of minutes and picked up a lot of cards. So that's going to affect things as well, just in terms of a team's output if their best players aren't playing either. So I'd just be very, very careful. You're right, I think, about really short price favourites going into these round of fixtures, because again, team news is going to be everything. And I've got a little bit of an angle later actually on Croatia versus Montenegro, where I think Croatia might just play an under strength side. So there's a little angle for Montenegro, but I'm sure we'll get onto that in due course, Steve. 83% of the money's on Northern Ireland, 82% of the money's on the under for this game, and even there's 59% of the tickets as well. So under everywhere. It's
quite unusual, isn't it, for the market to be supporting unders that heavily. So and sometimes you just got to really put a lot of weight in where the market has gone, I think, and I think they are. It's preempting a very low scoring game here, and the money has come for unders. So I want to be, even though I probably missed the price, I definitely want to get it on my side in some regard.
Yeah, effectively both professional and public money on the under, which that just shows you the direction. Luxembourg have lost 1-0 in all the last 4 games. Reverse fixture did end 3-1 to Northern Ireland, but that was very early on in a must-win game for both, really. It's a completely different dynamic now. Just looking through if anyone else has got any bets on the game. Got loads of other picks in other fixtures, which we are going to talk about. A says he ladded the Haaland goals yesterday. That would have paid well, actually, against Italy away. And
what price was he any time yesterday, Steve?
I didn't. Do you know what? I didn't actually look, because it was a game where I wasn't interested in betting on because of the just, it was the 9-0 as long as they didn't lose big. I thought Italy would win, actually. Not that I would have particularly bet it, but it's an
eye-catching result, that, wasn't it? Especially going 1-0 behind. I know there weren't much on the game, but still, Norway to go and do that to an elite team bodes well for their chances. I think it could be one of the dark horses maybe for the World Cup. Could be a lot of support for them in the next sort of 6 months or so, I think.
Stephen Hall was in my same boat with the lower league plays. It was a struggle across the board. I've noticed this. Like I said, I have more losers in the lower leagues on international weekends. Maybe it's because I'm not as selective, perhaps. But I think maybe some teams just raise their game or whatever. It's weird. Francesco Martin likes over 3.5 goals. Netherlands, Lithuania. We'll come to that game soon. Sac Melier, goalkeeping coach, wouldn't have been keen on Croatia minus money. And he's going to be against the Poland on the handicap in this one. Haaland was 11-8. So you're getting at least evens apparently everywhere.
2 goals, what about 6-1 maybe?
6-1,
yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant bet.
For those who back in blind, and there's people out there, fair play, you just back in blind every game. They're back in 2+ goals every game and the hat-trick every game. And it's not a bad strategy.
It's probably paid for the next sort of 6 weeks of that bet, isn't it, at least? So that's a very, it's sometimes in this game you don't need to overcomplicate matters, do you? And it's a case of just following a man who is just playing out of his skin, and it's Ronaldo, Messi sort of levels now we're talking about in terms of goal scoring, isn't it? And I'm not sure the market has really caught up yet by the look of the prices. So interesting angle. I know it's a really obvious one, but I think people are making a nice little long-term profit from this man at the moment. So keep on rolling, Erling.
Russ M, the hat-trick was 23-1. You're not going to get that very often, are you?
No.
On Erling Haaland. Wow. Imagine if that had cashed. But, okay, let's move to the next game. This is an active game in terms of what's at stake. This is Germany against Slovakia. And Germany actually owe Northern Ireland a favour for beating Slovakia couple of 2 or 3 rounds ago. Otherwise, they'd be in a must-win position here. As it happens, both teams are on 12 points in the table. But Germany do have a slightly better goal difference, so a draw will be enough, and Germany will qualify for the World Cup. But it's not a position they would want to be in, not having secured their spot with 1 game remaining. Slovakia have got a one-off chance to qualify. If they win the game, they're there over in the USA. Otherwise, it'd be second place for them. 11-1. On Slovakia, and the ties at +500. This is an intriguing game for me, Lewis. I got involved with the Iceland game yesterday on this, where one team needed a draw, one team needed to win, and I took the overs. Both teams score yes, and it didn't cop for me. Usually, these sort of games get a bit frantic, I think, but it depends how Slovakia are going to play it. Are they just going to come out swinging, or are they going to try and stay 0-0 for 80 minutes and then Nika got the late goal? That's what I'm trying to work out, what the Slovakian approach is going to be here.
Well, if you are on any Slovakia-based bet, you want them to take the approach that Ireland did, I suppose. They had a similar sort of scenario, didn't they, against Hungary, where they needed to win to keep their playoff hopes alive. So I think, but Ireland going to Hungary is different from Slovakia going to Germany, I think. And my first instincts here were to think that Germany were too short, just based on the fact that Slovakia won the previous fixture 2-0. Germany still not completely firing, I don't think. Musiala's still injured. Obviously, Havertz is missing. Still got a few key players out. But just surely with such jeopardy on the line here, I know Germany have to avoid defeat, don't they? So they need to get a result. They're going to turn up, I'd have thought, here, and as they usually do at home. And they're very, very good side at home under Nagelsmann, I think. A very intense, attack-minded team that just posts some very healthy attacking underlying metrics. And that is just, it makes me think that they will score a couple of goals in this match. And it's a very big ask for Slovakia to go and try and win in Munich here. Because in the last 11 games at home, Germany, this is including the Euros, they're averaging 2.7 expected goals per 90. Going forward. So some huge totals there as well. They've been playing some really good teams in that run. Spain, they created 2.5 against. Italy, 3.4 expected goals, 2.6 in the defeat to France in the Nations League. So this is a team that really do create high volume of chances, really. And I suppose that goes along with the coach's philosophy very front foot manager, isn't he? Very aggressive in terms of the way he wants his team to play out possession. So, I did want to actually try and get Germany on side here in some regard, but it's very difficult to do that in the traditional markets. I thought maybe the total shots on target. I did look at that. They're averaging almost 8 shots on target in those home matches, around sort of 7.9 per 90. But the market has got that priced up accordingly. BetRivers got that as plus 110 for Germany to have over 7.5 shots on target. So I thought that was the right price. So in that, not usually in this sort of scenario, you want to dip into the players' shots on target market, and that's exactly what I've done here. Because I think if Germany are going to hit that sort of 7 or 8 shots on target line, I do think there's a fair chance that Joshua Kimmich is going to be responsible for one of them, because he's had 9 shots on target in his last 9 starts for Germany. He's obviously plays as a fullback, sometimes plays as the sort of the central midfielder on the right, but does get heavily involved with the way that Nagelsmann wants to build up. And it does see him pop up in very advanced positions. And he's a very clever, intelligent player when it comes to positioning and finding space. And he does like to have a shot when he gets into the range. And this bet would have landed if we're looking at the price here on Kimmich, which we've got, is plus 128 for over 0.5 shot on target. I think that's too big, and I think we do have to snap that up, because this is a bet, as I said. It's landed in the reverse fixture against Slovakia. He had a shot on target in that game. And also another key point to this, I think he's going to be the designated penalty taker as well, Steve, which is another added bonus for if you're playing him in this market. So, yeah, I thought that was generous, actually, heading into the player shots on target market here. Joshua Kimmich, high-quality player, loves to join in with the attacks. Plays a key role in the way that Nagelsmann likes to build up for Germany. So, yeah, plus 128 for over 0.5 shots on target with BetRivers. Thought that was very generous, and I think that's the way in here.
I think this is really a good way, actually, rather than looking at the match markets and the goal line. We've got a lot of sort of interesting thoughts here from the commenters, and A says he can see Slovakia defending deep for most of the game and trying to hit Germans on the break. And someone else, that was Byron, said under 3 Asian in Slovakia plus 2 goals minus 135. But then on the other side, DCB says he thinks overs is the play, because if either side gets a goal, then the other team has to go for it. This is the debate, and this is the problem. This is why I think it's probably a better bet to bet live than pre-game. If there is a goal, it changes the whole dynamics. I think, look, we're only about, 15 months from Slovakia nearly knocking out England in the last Euros. And we know what they did that day. England didn't really lay a glove on them for most of the match. We know that in qualifying, they're an under machine. You know, I mean, there's a stat here producer Troy gave me about Slovakia. They're both teams to score no has hit in 8 of the last 9 games for Slovakia. So, yeah, it wouldn't really make sense for them to suddenly change that, come out all guns blazing. Would it?
No, you can't do that away. You just can't. Because if you open the game up against Germany, it's exactly what they want you to do. The best way Slovakia are going to get a result here, Steve, absolutely, is to play defensive, counter-attack, low-block football, try and frustrate Germany for as long as possible, and then go for it. So I would be a little bit worried about taking any over goals line just on that case. Maybe you're right. In play is probably the way to have a look at this. Maybe if the game is level on 60 minutes, still 0-0, Slovakia need to go for it. That's when you pull the trigger on Slovakia to try and jump on a big price if you fancy Germany to sort of to balls it up, so to speak. But I can't see it happening. They're so strong at home, Germany. They are machine-like under Nagelsmann. He's an elite coach. They've got elite players, and with the jeopardy on the line tonight, I just think they'll turn up and get the job done. And yeah, I think the Kimmich angle is the one that stood out at the prices. I think, plus 128 around that. Got one of the comments says it going in the daily double. It's not going in the daily double, but it still is an official pick for me here. Plus 128. I think it's too big to turn down for Kimmich, and he's also on penalties, which just makes it even a better angle to exploit, I think.
Yeah, that's a fair call on the player props market there. 90% of the money's on Germany. 67% of the money in the over-under market is on the over. Yeah, I'm going to wait in play for anything in terms of match markets and goals. And, I'm thinking maybe possibly corners for Germany here as well. But they don't need to win. Draw's fine for them. If it is a draw with 20 minutes to go, it will be interesting, I've got to say. Because the Germans might start to get a little bit nervous. It's an intriguing fixture.
Yeah, we saw what happened to Hungary, didn't they? They were cruising in that match, and then they got one back, Ireland, and everything changed. I mean, it was the jeopardy can do a lot of strange things to even the most elite players in those situations, and they do drop 10 yards deeper just to protect their goal. So yeah, an in-play, definitely look. I'd be following that as well. If the game's level with 20 minutes to go, you've got to have a look at some pro Slovakia angles, I think.
Okay, so Duncan asks, is Kimmich going into the double? No, it's not. The first part of the double is under 2.5 goals, Northern Ireland, Luxembourg. The second part of the double comes up later on the show. Just keep you waiting. It's in the Montenegro game, actually. But good to see Brad Brett's footy. How's your weekend been? Have you been winning? How have you found this international break, Brad Bretts? I know you've been. You always have a few statistical angles. Byron says, looking at Germany match shots, perhaps here. Tribe of Gad, not the only one done by the Harrogate game. It's the way it is. Notts County absolutely murdered them, really, but only managed to rescue a late draw. It is what it is. Okay, let's move on to the next fixture. It's Malta against Poland. Malta, who did for Rui Barlow's daily double on Friday, of all things, with an incredible win away to Finland. 1-0 for Malta. What a great result for them. And now they face Poland to round off their campaign. They're nearly 10-1 to beat Poland. I mean, from a Polish perspective, they know where they're finishing. They are going to finish second. There's a huge goal difference gulf to the Netherlands, which isn't going to be breached realistically. So they've got to prepare for the playoffs. They might be in a similar position to some of these other teams who don't want players suspended and things like that. Malta, we know these minnows take these matches very, very seriously, Lewis. I'm not for 1 minute saying Malta can win again, but I wouldn't be in a rush to back Poland on the handicap here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a comment that's come in actually about the 3 real short prices today: Germany, Poland, and Croatia. And I think it says the confident of one of them getting beat. And I'd agree. Actually, I don't want to go. It's not a play. It's not an official play or anything like that. It's a game which I didn't really have too much of an opinion on. But that price about Poland, I mean, the game they don't need to really win, or there's no motivation. I mean, how many goals do they need? So they need Lithuania to beat Netherlands, don't they? Away from home. And Netherlands, I'm not sure, have lost at home for like 15 years. And they need a 13-goal swing in their favour. So they need Lithuania to probably win 5-0, and they need to win, 9-0. So I think we can safely say that Netherlands are going to finish top, Poland are going to finish second. So, it's that price, minus 3, 4, 5, that doesn't appeal at all in terms of, as quite rightly what you said about Malta being probably these games for these minnows are big, whoever they play at home, and they're going to be absolutely flying after they're winning Finland. The metrics behind that victory, though, Steve, I think it's a sustainable way of playing, so to speak. They conceded 3.49 worth of expected goals in that match, managed to keep a clean sheet, and they scored with, despite creating just 0.18 worth of expected goals from their 4 shots. So it was a bit of a freak result, I think. I'm not sure they're going to back that up. I'm not sure it's a real changing of the guard in terms of where Malta are in terms of the football rankings or anything. So, it's a game I'll be staying clear of from a betting point of view, but it wouldn't be a play I'd be looking to trust Poland at those sort of prices. I think in this game where, again, I think they know their fate. They're going to come second. They can focus on the playoffs now, and Malta probably can have quite a nice time and see how they get on, but not a betting heat for me.
I'm actually got a lean for the under here, under 2.75 goals at minus 124. It does cover a half loss if it did end 3-0 to Poland or a 2-1 win. I don't really see Malta scoring, if I'm being honest. The reverse fixture was just 2-0 win for Poland. They absolutely, again, battered them. I mean, this is a theme, isn't it, for Malta? They do take quite a lot of statistical pastings, but they have a knack of maybe not getting... I mean, I know that the Dutch absolutely rinse them, but in general, they tend to keep matches closer against non-elite sides. And I don't think Poland are that great, really, these days. They're all right. They're nothing special. I don't think they're going to be that focused. I wouldn't even hang my hat on them winning the game. to be honest with you here.
Well, I've just looked at their numbers in terms of their last 15 home matches. Malta, they've only conceded an average of 1.3 goals per game, which sort of goes along with your theory there. And I know they have played quite a bit of dross in the Nations League there, but against some of the sort of the bigger sides, I mean, they've only lost 2-0 to Greece at home, and they got England in there. That was 4-0, Italy 2-0. So you're right, they don't really get at home. They seem to be able to sort of defend deep and restrict teams. And it just could be in a game where Poland haven't really got anything to play for. Breaking down a low block when you know that you've already got the job done, it can be quite a difficult thing for teams to do. So, yeah, I can see where your undershout comes from there maybe at the prices, because it might not – I mean, it's tough to see them scoring, but it's tough to see them conceding too many as well.
It's like it was the Liechtenstein match against Wales the other night. Ultimately, Wales would have loved to have won 6-0. And they tried, but they didn't have the ability to break down the lowest of low blocks. And it'll be the same here. Malta will be the lowest of low blocks. Have Poland got the quality? They've got a bit more quality than Wales, yeah, in terms of technical, perhaps. Do they really want it? It's not what you want, is it? Really? When
and once you're 1-0 and 2-0 up in a game like that, where you know it doesn't matter in terms of the long term, what you need to do in the group. I mean, the motivation isn't going to be there, and Malta will still sit in a low block even at 1-2-0 down. It's not that the game's not going to open up, is it? It's not going to make it any easier. So I can totally see that. I think with motivation levels low, I would probably lean the unders as well at the prices, and just hope that Malta can sort of dig in there. And as you say, motivation is probably higher for them than Poland in this situation.
95% of the money's on Poland, 97% of the tickets are on them, nearly 80% of the money's on the over. Yeah, they could be a parlay buster. I think they're a dangerous bet, Poland, in this one. They probably do win 2-0. Someone put up as a correct score, plus 450, 1-0, very likely scores, but there's a chance they might not win the game. Mike says, seeing these European teams, have you got any new thoughts on outrights for the World Cup? He's suddenly liking Senegal. I've not actually looked at the recent outright market for the World Cup. We will be doing a live World Cup draw show, actually, in 2 weeks' time, Friday the 5th of November. It's going to be at midday Eastern time that day. It's going to be a 4-man crew whilst the draw's being done. And I'm sure there'll be some outright thoughts that day. But there will be some decent prices knocking around, that's for sure. I mean, you gave Ecuador out on a show a couple of months ago. That's still my angle, actually. It's that definitely want to be against these European teams that are packed full of players that have played more or less, I don't know, for the last 3-4 seasons without a break, especially the players that played in the Club World Cup last summer. They're going to be very difficult to be at their best, I think, in the conditions in America. So I would be steering clear at the moment of any European team with a lot of players that have got a lot of minutes in their legs. That's my only real angle at the moment. Obviously, I have backed Ecuador. They're one of the teams that I do like. I just think the price was too big, so I wanted to get them on side, because I think there'll be a market move towards them, especially with the rise, how good Caicedo's developed over the past sort of 6 months or so. He's going to be a huge player for them at the World Cup. So, yeah, Ecuador, very much the only team that I've got involved with so far. But that was just a sort of a back to lay sort of move, because I just think the price is going to shorten quite a lot on them as we approach the World Cup. But I wouldn't be very hot on the European teams at the moment. I just think it's going to be very difficult to be at their best out there after the schedules that these players have to go through at the moment. Okay, let's move to Czech Republic against Gibraltar here. Czech Republic, clear favourites to win the game. They know their fate. They're going to finish in second place. Been given a big scare by the Pharaohs in this group, actually, the Czech Republic. But they will get over the line. And this is, again, a team that will be involved in the playoffs in March. And, check out the team news, check out the side. I mean, for me, they're far too short here for what you'd want. I mean, the goal line at 4.5 seems ridiculously high. I think this is an under game for me, -117 on under 4.5 goals. Gibraltar, for them, it's far more important for them to try and get a result here. I'm sure Czech Republic will, want to win to make sure they're not embarrassed or anything. But again, what have they got to gain really from this sort of fixture? Gibraltar have been covering handicaps for fun in this group, apart from the opening match against Croatia. And the handicap is around about the 3 mark, I do believe, for this one. Actually, no, it's even bigger, 3.75 on the Czech Republic, who only beat San Marino 1-0 in a friendly, by the way, at the weekend. I wouldn't have any interest. I mean, I would be going Gibraltar handicap if I had to, but I like under 4.5 goals here, Lewis.
Yeah, well, this is a really. I wasn't expected to have a real big view here on this game when I was flicking through the fixtures earlier, but just something jumped out at me. Just a real big market move on both teams to score yes here. We're looking at a price here that was around sort of maybe the plus 340, plus 330 mark. It's been shortened over the past sort of 12 hours or so to plus, what we got it now, plus 155. What did I see there, Steve?
Plus 155.
What? I mean, that is crazy. This is Gibraltar we're talking about here. That's a 15% shift in implied probability I make that over the past sort of 12 hours or so. So I'm not sure what's going on with the market, but Gibraltar have scored just 6 goals in their last 26 competitive games. And they've got to go to the Czechia here, and who won the reverse fixture 4-0. Gibraltar had 1 shot in that match. So I really want to know where this money or where this move, what's the reason behind this move for Gibraltar to get onto the score sheet here? Because plus 155 is it's still obviously the implied probability is quite high for that still to come in. But this is Gibraltar we're talking about, who hardly score any goals. They're going to a very good Czech Republic team. So I don't know, someone maybe has some information maybe on team news or something behind the scenes that we don't know, that Czech Republic are going to be under strength and Gibraltar are going to have a go and maybe play a little bit differently, or they've got some superstar 16-year-old in attack that we don't know about. I mean, it is a very, very strange market move, and it might not have taken a lot of money to move that market with the liquidity in the early stages of some of these sort of the lesser markets like both teams to score. But I was just baffled. I just want to know who has bet both teams to score to move it into plus 155 in a game involving Gibraltar away at a team where they're what the price they to win? Million to 1?
Gibraltar are a massive price. They're 35 to 1.
35 to 1. It's just a really bizarre move, I thought. And I was wondering if you had any thoughts at all why the market would move so much in that favour on a score market involving Gibraltar. Baffling.
I think there's 2 reasons for it. I think number one, Gibraltar I believe it or not, I've actually watched quite a lot of Gibraltar in the last couple of years. They are more attack-minded than they used to be. However, this is different to playing, say, Montenegro or even at a home game. You know, they're not going to be very enterprising here. But I think, secondly, I think it screams alarm bells about the potential Czech Republic 11 for the game. It really does. And that's why, you know, I'm not saying that their reserves or the second string can't potentially beat Gibraltar big, but Gibraltar are not as bad as they used to be. I mean, that's the only reason I can put it down to, that maybe just potentially a weak Czech lineup. I think under 4.5 goals looks good here, personally. Henry Williams says Czech humiliated themselves 2 days ago versus San Marino. I mean, that's the only thing in it. If maybe the criticism's been so much. I mean, if you only beat San Marino 1-0 at home, no matter who you are, you're going to come under fire, aren't you? But that was only a friendly. I mean, what's the point of that friendly anyway? I don't get that.
Well, so what is the point of a lot of this, Steve, in terms of the international stuff? We don't want to go open up those can of worms. So I'm just looking at Gibraltar's underlying metrics really as well. We've had a couple of comments for it coming through that maybe Gibraltar football is on the up, and I think one of their teams make it into the Conference League. Am I on the right lines there?
Oh, it is that they've had one of the teams had a win in the Conference League.
Yeah,
it's the Red Imps, isn't it? Yeah, the Red Imps.
Of course, yeah, that's right. So I'm just looking at their underlying metrics for some of their matches, and it's really not really that appealing. I mean, Croatia beat them, created 4.3 worth of XG. Gibraltar had 0.02 worth of XG in their favour. They had 1 shot in the match. They had 1 shot against Czech Republic in the other fixture. I mean, it just really. Maybe I'm behind on this Gibraltar curve, maybe, but that sort of move was really quite stark, I think. And maybe you think you have to go on the other side, and maybe the value is now with both teams to score no or whatever the price was, because it's a very, very strange market move, I think. But maybe I'm a little bit unclued up about what the Gibraltar football, but I just thought it was a very strange move. So I'd be really interested to see if that cops now. If Gibraltar go there and create chances and manage to get on the score sheet, I'll be definitely keeping an eye on that result.
I mean, Gibraltar football has improved. Like someone said, Will White did mention Gibraltar football is in the up. Shout out to Will White, who was on my Betting Zoo episode last week. Thanks for all the feedback and the comments so far on that. But I mean, one thing I will say for the Czechs, they've got a massive height advantage for this game. I remember the reverse fixture, I think it was 4-0, and they were the likes of Souček and that were all over them with the set pieces and height stuff. But I'm going to say 3-0 only to Czech Republic here, 5-1 shot that is. I could see 3-0 or 4-0. I don't think Gibraltar will score, to be honest with you. And I think under 4.5 goals is what I like in this one. Netherlands, Lithuania is now the Netherlands. Obviously, we know they're going to win this group, barring an absolute miracle. They officially just need 1 point to be in, even a defeat, and they're looking all right. The Netherlands are the sort of team, in my opinion, Lewis. They don't do friendlies. Every match for them is important for the nation. I think they're the sort of team that don't put the foot off the gas very often. So the sort of the teams that have nothing to play for or are fairly straightforward, then I'll be more inclined that they could deliver a big beating tonight, actually. A bit like Portugal did against Armenia, so to speak. -3 on the Asian handicap line are the Netherlands. And, I say nothing to play for. They still aren't officially in the World Cup. So I'd imagine the Dutch will be focused as they usually are.
Yeah, the level of opposition here is pretty rank as well, isn't it? Lithuania they're just going to. There's a good chance of them rolling over here in against the Netherlands, and there's a player here I like. I mean, again, the traditional market's not for me really in terms of getting involved on any handicaps or taking on the goals line or anything. It was priced up accordingly. Couldn't find an angle there, but I did find an angle in the props market. Heading to the player shots market here, Stephen. Virgil van Dijk really stood out here. His shots price is over 1.5, so you need to have 2 shots for this to land, plus 190. And also Van Dijk to score is plus 430, which people will be thinking, well, that's very short for a centre-back. But I do think both have got a chance to land in here, because I was just looking at Van Dijk's record against minnows in a qualification match when it comes to the shots and his goal output. And so I ran the last 12 matches where he played against a team ranked 60 or worse in the world rankings. And in those 12 matches, he's had 22 shots and scored 3 times. And that was against Belarus, Malta and Finland. And crucially for this bet here, the over 1.5, he's cleared that 2 or more shots line, so the over 1.5 line, in 8 of those 12 matches. And this is a fixture which is absolutely in that mould of Netherlands against the minnows, especially at home. So the fact that Bet Rivers are offering here plus 190 for him to have over 1.5, considering it's landed in sort of 8 of previous similar fixtures from 12, I think that's a nice slice of value to get involved with. And if you want to put some sort of logic and theory behind the numbers here. I mean, Van Dijk is a brilliant player to attack a set piece. Very intelligent in around the box. He isn't overly crash bang wallop, if that makes sense. He's not like your Dan Ballard or Harry Maguire. He's very intelligent with his movement, and he gets free a lot from these set pieces. And when the delivery's right, he's always in a good spot to get something decent towards goal. So yeah, I think they're going to win a lot of corners. The market has them in for about 8 corners here. They're going to be threatening from free kicks. Van Dijk's going to go up for all of them here, and I think we'll get a good run for our money here at that sort of price for him to have 2 shots or over 1.5 shots in the match, and also maybe half a unit on the goal scorer price as well, just short of 5-1. So yeah, I like those 2 plays on Van Dijk here.
Fair enough. Can't argue with that too much. Jan Phillips says that he doesn't think Koeman gets the most out of our national team. He hopes that Peter Bosz gets the job after the World Cup. Interesting team, the Netherlands. At times look brilliant. But then, I mean, I remember that against England in the last Euros. Get themselves ahead and then offer nothing really. Can be a criticism of Koeman. Lithuania, to be fair to them, they have given it a decent crack in this group. They only lost the reverse fixture 3-2. They picked up a couple of points. Based on results, you could say maybe they have improved a bit, but they're still one of the true minnows, really, of European soccer. So, Mike says, do you think Virgil might get rested? He's not the sort of player that ever wants to get rested, really. He'd be disappointed too. He's a leader, isn't he?
They need to win. I thought it sounds ridiculous because they're going to qualify whatever, but they do need to get a result. So if he's resting all his players, it's not a great look, I don't think. And he's the skipper. He'll want to be there when they get to the World Cup. It's still going to be a mini celebration. It's an achievement, isn't it? Still, even for a team like Holland. So I can't see him resting too many of the big guns. So quite happy to obviously wait for team news potentially, but I think Van Dijk will start and he'll be a big threat as always.
Interesting stat from producer Troy. Memphis Depay scored at least 1 goal in his last. Each of the Netherlands' last 4 World Cup qualifying fixtures and in 6 of their last 7. He's minus 240 to score any time here against Lithuania. All the money's on Netherlands, 94% of it, and 67% of the money's on the over in the over-under market. We've got one more match to discuss, and it is the second part of your daily double. I'll be honest, I kind of dismissed this game a little bit, actually, Lewis. So interesting that you found a great angle here. It is on a player prop for the game, but Croatia are the favourites to deliver the win here at Montenegro, who only just gone and won 2-1 at the weekend. Croatia, of course, again, they get the business done, don't they? You know, they're another World Cup, winning another group. Just one match where they've drawn here, and Montenegro are going to finish below the Faroe Islands unless they win 10-0. So, which isn't going to happen. So, disappointing campaign for them. But the player prop, tell us about the player prop for it's going to be the second party daily double.
Yeah, I think Croatia, I mean, they're a team I don't really like backing at all, really. I mean, they proved me wrong a little bit in this qualifying campaign. They've absolutely walked the group. But I still think they're a very sort of aging team, lacking quality in reserve. And I'm looking forward to getting stuck into them in terms of betting against them in the World Cup. So I think they'll be overbet based on their past records in the competition. They've got pretty good defence, and Gvardiol is obviously an outstanding player. But like some Modric, Perisic, they're still sort of holding this team up. And I just think in the summer there'll be a team to really get stuck into in terms of betting against them. And I think they'll make changes here tonight. I mean, it's all wrapped up, a bit like England did last night in Albania. I think they'll make changes, and there has been a little bit of a drift on Croatia over the past sort of few hours or so, suggesting that they might rest some legs. So. Yeah, Montenegro, they're a team, actually, I don't actually mind backing in home matches, just based on their underlying in numbers. I know they're not a very good team defensive. They conceded 14 goals in their 7 games in qualification, which has just completely hampered them and restricted them. But their underlying process at home, in terms of attacking, is always consistently very good. And I'm just to give you some a flavour of that from their last 10 home games. The last 10 home games against a variety of opposition, some good, some absolutely horrendous, but they're averaging 17.5 shots per game, Steve, to a backdrop of 1.63 expected goals per 90. It's a very strong process, considering when they've been playing the likes of Turkey, Wales, Czechia, and they put on some good numbers in those games. And they beat Turkey, actually, at home quite convincingly only a few games ago. So I do think they'll be able to cause Croatia a few troubles here, especially if Croatia go into it with a weakened team. A bit like Albania yesterday, actually, for England. I mean, Albania could have had a couple of goals, actually, on the counter-attack and did get a few shots away yesterday. I could sort of foresee a similar sort of game when they can play on the counter-attack. They're a very sort of direct, aggressive, vertical team, I think, and they do like playing as the underdog, and they'll just get forward and try and get shots away, which the underlying data does suggest from their shots numbers. So the man I want to back here, I thought was a very good price for a shot on target, Nikola Kristovic, notoriously a very shots-heavy player for Atalanta and Montenegro here. He's last 6 competitive home games for Montenegro, Steve. He's averaging, wait for this is an unbelievable figure, 6.3 shots per 90 over 6 games. And I'm going to read you out his, it's going to sound like a phone number here, but this is the run of how many shots he's had in those games. He's had 8, 11, 6, 5, 4, and 4. So that's 37 shots in 6 games.
11 in one match?
11 in one match he had. That's shots, not shots on target, shots. So this is the shot volume. So and in that time, he's had 9 shots on target in that run. So always looking to back him when the prices are right. And the fact that Montenegro are the outsiders here, meaning we are getting a backable price here on Kristovic to get a shot on target. He's minus 148 for over 0.5 shots on target. I think that's a nice way to get a Montenegro-based bet on side here against a Croatian team that might just not be at it and resting a few legs. So, yeah, I don't mind backing Montenegro in these sort of spots when they're at home. I think they're a good attacking team that offer a lot. And when you get a team that offer a lot going forward, you have to head to the shots market. And this guy, Kristovic, yeah, when the price is right, he's a brilliant player to back in these type of markets. So he's going in the daily double along with Northern Ireland under 2.5 goals. And as we can see on screen there, yeah, plus 184. I think that's a nice price to attack.
That is the official daily double today. Northern Ireland against Luxembourg under 2.5 goals, and the Nikola Kristovic to have over 0.5 shots on target in the Montenegro game against Croatia. Those shot stats are absolutely staggering. It's like Star Wars, isn't it? Fire at will, Commander.
Yes,
And,
absolutely. Yes.
He's that is great. 11 in one game. Doesn't matter who that's against. That takes some doing.
I want to see now. I want to get who it's against. Just want to make sure I didn't. Where it is home against the Faroe
Gibraltar.
Islands.
Faroes.
Faroe Islands. Yeah, they won 1-0. They had 20
Wow.
shots in the match, and he had 11 of them. There we go.
It's absurd. That is absolutely absurd. A reminder to please sign up to the Betting Weekly newsletter for those who haven't already. All 3 bets that were given out on last Monday's edition did win, which was good. And the Insider had a couple of winners as well over the weekend. Shout out to the Hitman, Paul Hughes there. So do sign up. Please, again, if you're brand new, I've seen a few new names in the comments. Please consider subscribing to the channel, and all the likes are very much appreciated as well, of course. And later on, Betting Weekly Live, the US team will be in action at 5 p.m. Eastern time. They've been smashing those daily doubles to pieces in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Let's hope we can get a daily double on the board again today, Lewis. So I'll remind people that double in a minute, but just what would be sort of the best bet today on a single?
I really like the Van Dijk over 1.5 shots, actually. I think that was close to getting his one shot line as well. The over 0.5 was close to getting into that daily double heavily odds again. So I'm going to take a bit of a swing at the bigger price over 1.5 at around plus 190. That would be the best single, but I like both singles in the double as well, combining those together. So yeah, plenty to go at, and hopefully we can come out in profit.
Yeah, my best single of the day is that under 4.5 goals in the Czech Republic game against Gibraltar. Shakespeare came on, actually, the great Shakespeare. I forgot to mention his comment. And he said if sharp money is coming in for both teams to score in the Gibraltar game, that might indicate a higher scoring game. Hopefully not Shakespeare. I don't honestly see Gibraltar scoring in it. Even if the Czech Republic are starting a second string defence, they're just away from home there. It's a tough ask for them. I mean, at home, it'd be tough anyway. So for me, it's an interesting little market move, that is for sure. But thank you very much to everyone who joined live or on demand. Like I said, join me tomorrow on Betting Weekly Live for more. And the US team coming up later, they'll be certainly discussing Monday Night Football, Cowboys at Raiders. Just a quick betting breakdown before I go for that game. 95% of the money's on the Cowboys and 71% of the money on the spread on the Cowboys minus 3.5, and the over-under line, which is set at 50 points. 68% of the money is on the over for that game. Thanks to producer Troy for that data, and to John Izzard as well for the graphics as per usual, and to you, Lewis, for a great show. Best of luck with those plays, especially best of luck with the daily double, which I put on screen there again. Look forward to reconvening with you again, probably within the next week or 2.
Yes, when domestic football will be back and I can feel a lot more comfortable in my own skin, Steve. So let's roll on the Premier League returning.
I've no doubt it'll be a West Ham, Bournemouth or Forest Monday Night Football where we'll be reconvening. It always seems to be one of those teams. But take care. Thanks so much, everyone. Remember, again, we're responsibly. Best of luck with those plays, and I'll see you tomorrow on Betting Weekly Live. Goodbye.